welcome. My name is Lori Fielder, and I work at VSECU. That stands for Vermont State Employees Credit Union. So we are a financial cooperative. We're member-owned. We have 9 branches throughout the state. Anyone who lives or works in Vermont can become a member of the credit union. And we also have a full-service business department called VBiz. So we have a lot of members. We have 60,000 members statewide, which is about 1/6 of the population. So we feel like we do quite a bit to customize, what we can do for members, and really that's what I'm here to talk about today is one of our special programs. So, so do people kind of understand what the difference between a credit union and a bank is? So, yeah, it's sort of, they have real similar services, but they really are differently structured. So a bank has shareholders and it's for profit. And there's different kinds of banks. There's community development banks and, the smaller ones that you might see in your town. And then there's bigger ones that are national. Credit unions, like I said, are not for profit. They're member owned. So every member has a voice and one vote. So it's a volunteer board of directors. Nobody on that board gets paid to make decisions. They just do it because that's what their service to the organization is. So one of the benefits is that the profits from the credit union go back to the members in the form of higher deposit rates and lower, discounted loan rates. So that's really what the difference is, and the types of, benefits many benefits that we can offer. The other benefit is that we're local. So we're really a Vermont organization. We were, chartered, we're a state chartered credit union in 1947. So we've been around a long time, started really tiny, and now we serve Vermont statewide. So that's why it's not just employees of the state anymore. We've expanded our field of membership to include everyone that lives or works in Vermont. So really one of the programs that's our signature program is the V-Green program, and I'm the director for this program. This is a program that has really developed over the years to answer to members' requests, that we come up with ways to incentivize members to invest in improvements in energy efficiency and renewables. So like I mentioned, the loans are really for investing in energy savings and renewables. The loans have been structured to offer discounted rates and extended terms to make the economics of renewable projects or efficiency projects really make sense. We don't have closing costs even on our secured loans for, for the home equity products. And we do have a one-time free loan modification. So if you get a tax incentive, a tax credit, or a refund that you want to apply to the loan, we'll re-amortize it once for free. So that's a nice feature. It's for solar, weatherization. Of course, the newer technology that I'm sure many of you have learned about, heat pumps, heating systems, efficient heating systems, and even bicycles, electric bikes, cargo bikes, mountain bikes, whatever somebody might purchase to replace their second transportation or just to get their kids around town, So the loans that we really have for solar, how many of you have solar right now? Like you already have solar? So there's 1, 2, 3. How many are kind of here to think about this and consider if this is going to work for you? So pretty fair number. So we have a lot of options for solar loans, and really, I don't want to make it complicated. So if you can ask me afterwards, and I can help you kind of think about what will work for you. But a lot of times it's sort of custom. It sort of depends on your situation, what's going to work best. our main loan is the energy improvement loan. This is an unsecured loan, and I mean unsecured. It's not secured by the panels or the equipment. It's got discounted rates and a high maximum that you can borrow. So this, right now, it's $40,000, up to $40,000 that you can borrow unsecured. And we have extended terms, and those are up to 15 years. We have a brand new energy improvement loan. It's called our V-Green ITC loan. So this is the same loan, and this one goes to 12 years. And it's got an initial period of reduced payments, and it's designed to offset the 30% tax credit. So what's nice about this is that you pay the same fixed rate over the life of the loan, but it's amortized a little differently for the first year, so that during that first year you have lower payments while you're waiting to get your tax credit back. So that's kind of a key piece to making the economics work for your purchase. So this is brand new, and it's not in my brochure, unfortunately, because we're sort of still, our underwriters are still working on getting used to it, and we've done probably a dozen of them. So until we get that all worked out, we talk about it, and if you call us, we'll know about it, but it's not in the brochure. The other one we have that's unsecured is a balloon loan. So this isn't for everybody, but it is an option. It does allow you to have, it's like an extended term, only it matures at 15 years. It amortizes to 20. So what that means is it lowers your monthly payment. But it also means that at the end of the maturity date, 15 years, you have a balloon payment. You can either pay it off or you can refinance it. So some people choose to do this when they get their tax credit back. They make that almost like the balloon payment when they get it back. So for some people, this is just the right product for them, especially if they're super payment sensitive. Our community solar loan, how many of you thought about community solar? Do you know what it is? Like maybe you're not too wild, there's one person. So a lot of people are in a position of having the solar panels on their roof or on their property. Maybe they don't have the right orientation, or they have a lot of trees they're not willing to cut down, or their neighbors have trees that they're not willing to cut down for you. Or you have a roof that you're not really thinking you want to replace anytime soon. So you might be in a situation of comparing this. Community solar allows you to purchase solar off-site in a community array in your electric utility, and you would still own that purchase, so you could still take advantage of the 30% tax credit. There are some models that you wouldn't be able to, but most of them have this option. And it's a great option. And right now, the state is supporting an interest rate buy down for people that want to buy into community solar. This is federal money, and we're administering the grant, and it sunsets on September 15th. So if you're even thinking about it a little bit, you kind of have to make a decision soon on it, because that expires at that time. We also have the discounted home equity loan, and the rates on this right now are as low as 2.74%, and that is for a 5-year term. Most people that choose this option, they're interested in being able to take you can claim the interest on your income taxes because it's a home equity product. So they're interested in that feature, the low interest rate, and the 10-year term is 3.75%. That's the low rate for that. So it's a really great interest rate for that. Here's more on the community solar loan. You need to be a Vermont resident. It needs to be a community or group net metered project. It's all set up based on your household income, so it's tiered by your household income. So if you're in the below 64,000 for your household income tier, you could get a rate as low as 0% for up to 5 years. So the state's paying the difference between what we ordinarily could offer you and what you see here on the grid. Again, up to 40,000 and up to 15 years. So that's a pretty nice loan product. So I have a little more detail. Most of this information is available on our website, and we have a calculator that's pretty neat. You can put, right now it's set up for 15,000. You could change it to 20, and it would kind of give you, these different rates. And we have a business loan offering too right now. But if you were in the middle income tier and you wanted to do a 10-year loan, your interest rate would be 2.99. So that's below anything we can offer right now in the regular V-Green program. So again, if you're even a little interested, let me know and I can give you more information, because this is going to expire and then the money goes back to the federal government. So right now, these are the participating contractors in that program. This is all available on our website. Several of them are doing work in this area, but these are all. How many here are in GMP territory? Yeah, so GMP territory, this is going to apply to you. I'm not actually really sure how much is going on in other utilities. I think it's limited. But I know community solar is sort of in danger with the new net metering regulations that the public service boards come out with. So really, outside of the loan rate expiring in September, the other issue is that those regulations are changing at the end of the year. So in January, there won't be, it's just not going to be economical or even feasible for developers to build new community solar arrays. So, it's an option that might be vanishing for people. So I just did a quick kind of, let's just think about what the loans might look like in comparison. And this is not live, like I can't change the 18. I just kind of plugged that in for a guesstimate. So, 18,000, that's a pretty average. 18 to 25 is kind of average for what we see for solar loans. So the ITC portion, meaning the investment tax credit, is going to be $5,400 for this. So I did 3 loan options, and this is our new one, our new ITC loan. And you can see that if you apply the 5.4%, which is the lowest rate you could get for a 12-year term, the payment after 12 months would be, during the first 12 months would be $131.47, $174.90, and that's if you did not apply your refund. So that's really what this top box means. This one right here means if you did apply it, if you brought that $5,400 in and applied it, your monthly payment after you re-amortize would be lower. So this is just a really great illustration to show the economics of using that income tax credit, the investment tax credit, to pay down what you would ordinarily be paying for financing. It really makes a big difference in terms of the total interest. This is a little bit off, and I couldn't figure it out, but it's not, 17,000 is really the amount of principal and interest on, after the first year is paid down. So that's why it's less than the original loan amount. I needed to spend more time with Excel, and I didn't have more time. But the regular 12-year loan, this has been our standard loan for a long time, and this is the older version of this one. You can still tell, though, that it's still a great savings but 170/12, that's a fixed rate for the life of the loan. So once that's paid off, you own your electricity. I mean, that's how you can look at it. You're renting your electricity right now. We all do, if you don't do solar. And then here's an illustration of the balloon loan. You can see that there's quite a bit more interest involved. So if you can pay that down in that first year or two, once you get your income, your investment tax credit back, that's how you would reduce that amount of interest. Most people, when they see this, we do present this to people when they apply for the loan. They really go for the lowest interest that they can afford, and then understand that monthly payment, it's so worth it. The extra $50 a month or something that you're paying, it's so worth it to not pay the extra interest, right here over the life of the loan. So, I can of course talk to people after if you have questions about that at the end. I'm happy to answer them. So just a quick summary of our other V-Green loans. We also have a state grant that buys down the interest rate on thermal improvements. So this isn't, the only solar piece here is solar hot water. Domestic solar hot water is included in this. And I have flyers over there that are available. This is also income tiered based. So the lower your household income, the better your rate's gonna be. So this is for weatherization. It is for heat pump installation, and it's for replacing your furnace or boiler with super high efficiency equipment. We have done $2.25 million in this loan program in a year and a half. So it's been very popular, and our grant was extended. The state gave us more money because we burned through the first part so quickly, and so we have money to finish up this year. So that one will expire in December. It's a pilot program. We're hoping it continues in some way. But that's a pretty, that's been great because people have been able to sort of combine weatherization with solar. Sure. So the question was, does it apply also to something like radiant floor heat? So radiant floor heat really is, I mean, I'm not a heating technician or anything like that, but it really is more about the delivery of whatever the heat is. So, radiant floor heat typically is from some kind of, propane or, oil burning furnace or boiler. It's a boiler or something. We had radiant floor heat at a previous house, and we did it using a tankless hot water heater that was propane fired. So that tankless hot water heater doesn't qualify. But if we had to put in a super efficient propane furnace or boiler instead, that would have qualified. So whether or not it's, I think that if you put in the whole system would be eligible though. So if you were just taking out your old system and you were taking out your baseboard and said, well, we want to put in a new boiler and a new radiant, the whole thing would be included. So what's really nice about this is it's a partnership. And Efficiency Vermont, everyone kind of know who Efficiency Vermont is. They're they're our efficiency utility. We all pay for them because they bill us on our electric bills. We have a little charge on our electric bills that go to them. So I hope you take advantage of any incentives that they offer. And everything that is eligible for the Heat Saver loan is also getting an Efficiency Vermont incentive. So it's like double savings. So you really should look into that. If you have something that you're thinking of doing and you haven't, this is a great way to work towards that. And I have those flyers over here too. So anybody from Windham County? There's our Windham County folks. Okay, so we have another state grant program for Windham County, but I won't talk about it because you guys are all non-Windham. Green vehicle loan, we have a really super low interest rates for either high MPG vehicles or alternative fuel vehicles. So we've got, I've got more information on that if you'd like it. Again, we've got the home equity loans that are really no closing costs, and they're very low interest. We have an energy improvement mortgage where you can roll in audit recommended updates, upgrades, and also an off-grid mortgage. So we've written a few of these where people are trying to finance an off-grid property, and that's not a normal thing for a financial institution. We will do it. Anybody heard of VerMods? VerMods? They're really super efficient. I guess they're modular homes. They're constructed in Wilder, Vermont. They're manufactured. They were really sort of invented to replace some of the mobile home inventory in Vermont after Irene came through. So we finance those as well, and that's kind of a non-traditional, type of financing. So the last thing I'm going to talk about, does anybody know what PACE is? This is the Property Assessed Clean Energy Financing. So this is a statewide program. Efficiency Vermont does manage it. This is not something we manage, but I'd like to mention it because sometimes if people don't qualify for V-Green for some reason, they can, we've moved them over to PACE, and people have been able to do their work through them. So it's really only for, I shouldn't say only, there's a lot more towns now, and Manchester's one of them, but there's a list of Vermont towns on Efficiency Vermont's website that have approved this. The voters have to approve to be a PACE town. And these are the terms. I mean, they're pretty good terms. The 5.75% isn't bad for a fixed rate loan. The important thing to know, though, is that this loan is tied to the property, not to the borrower. So, when a home is sold, in the event of a sale, it can be paid off, or as part of the property transaction, or it can be transferred to the new owner. The idea being that it's improving the property that they're going to get the benefit from. The assessment comes out with at property tax time, so they have to pay it. It's separated on their property tax bill. So they're a little bit more labor intensive to get through them, but sometimes if that's what your option is, that's what it is. Our loans are really, if you want to apply for a V-Green loan, you can do it either, the easiest, fastest way is online. You can come into a branch, and you can call an underwriter and they can get you started. We do electronic, DocuSign types of documents, so you don't have to go to a closing. And membership, if you're not a member of VSECU, you can take care of that after you have gotten your loan decision. You don't have to do it until, at that point. It's only $25 though in a share account to become a member of the credit union. So it's not, that money's always yours. It just is there to hold your savings account open. And we do have a nice feature where we give, the first $1,000 in a share account earns 1%, which is more than any other financial institution right now. So really that's what I have for my presentation. Does anybody have questions about financing? Go ahead. No. So so they all have kind of different models, but the best thing to do is to sort of shop around, research, look at their websites. Those are all links to the websites that you saw there, and contact them and find out what they have. Some of them are getting low on their availability. So it's important just to check in with them. But those are all links to their websites. And most of them have availability. And what they'll do is they'll look at your electric bill and kind of size how much you need. And they'll tell you, oh yeah, we have that available. And then you purchase what you purchase, and that's what you have. So they kind of keep track of what the remainder is, and they sell that to other people. So it's not like a cooperative or something. You're literally buying, like this room, you're buying those 4 chairs. If somebody comes in and they want 5 chairs, they get 5 chairs. So what's nice is that it's typically transferable to somebody else. You can sell it to in fact, we just did a loan for somebody who bought somebody else's share because that person put solar on their roof. And they already had community solar, and then they were like, well, we have too much, so we're going to sell our community solar share to somebody else. And we just financed that transaction. And yeah, and some of them, they even have it set up so you can go sign your panels in the solar field. But those, you know, say you sign up for, you know, however many kilowatts, you know, like 6, 7 is typical. And those are assigned to your GMP bill. So whatever the production is assigned to your bill. So it doesn't really matter where they are. It's all an electronic transaction.
You still get that tax credit.
Yep, yep. So in the case of these people that got the second-hand community solar, they didn't, because somebody else had already benefited from the tax credit. So, but if you were called one of these folks up and said, sure, I'm interested, can you give me a quote on what it would be? My electric bill, you know, typically they get a copy, like 2 years worth of bills, so they can kind of get a sense as to what your average usage is. And so basically the question is, how does, is this sort of like a construction loan where, you know, like how does the disbursement work and how much money is required down? So these are not construction loans. We will do 100% project financing. So if you get your quote from, you know, say Norwich Technologies, you say, I'm working with VSECU, I need a quote. You give that to us. That will give us kind of the information we need. So you say, yep, I'm financing the whole 18,000. So yep, we'll finance the whole 18,000. They typically ask for a deposit. So you might say, okay, I authorize VSECU to send them the 9,000 now. And then we will close the loan and the 18,000 goes into your savings account, 9,000 goes to them, the other 9 stays on hold in your account until it's ready. When they're ready, they'll say, I'm ready for you to disperse the rest. You give us authorization to release the rest of it to them. And we'll cut the checks directly to them. You don't even have to do anything with that. And you can pay the loan back. You can do the monthly payments either with coupons, or you can do just a monthly, you know, like a monthly, I have the automatic thing coming from my savings account, so I don't have to send anything in the mail. Yeah, well, we have so the question really is, what kinds of loans are there for the vehicles? You know, like what is alternative fuel, and how does that work? So we do have the V-Green, it's the Green Vehicle Loan, and really, honestly, mostly what this is used for, most of my experience has been, you know, the high mileage, you know, anything over 35 miles per gallon qualifies, combined, you know, city and, what's the other one? Highway. And so anything over 35. And alternative meaning, you know, if somebody comes in with, we have biodiesel, people come in that say, yeah, I have a car that's running on biodiesel. That certainly also will qualify. Hybrids qualify. So if, say, it doesn't get 35 miles per gallon, it gets 28, but it's a hybrid, that qualifies. We consider a hybrid, electricity is alternative. Well, thanks for coming, and you know, I'm happy to answer questions for people afterwards, and enjoy the rest of the festival.